Okay, so moving on to the second question over here, it says Judy is researching online. Okay, list two types of user-generated reference sites Judy could use. Okay, so they're asking about sites that Judy could use where the content is user-generated. Okay, each user puts up their own content. Okay, so you can talk about wikis. Okay, wiki is a place where you can submit your own information. Okay, your own articles. Then, for example, you can talk about a forum. Okay, so forum, you can ask questions. Anybody who has an answer can give a reply to it. You can also talk about newsrooms, for example. You can talk about online bulletin boards, for example. Okay, all of these are fine. Okay. Right. Next, it goes on to say Judy uses a mobile phone to make a voice call. Draw a diagram to show the mobile phone's input and output devices required to make the call. Label each device you use in your diagram. So we're talking about Judy making a phone call on a mobile phone. Okay, so on the mobile phone, we have to display the input and output devices. Okay, so I'm using a trackpad over here, but let me give it my best shot. So you have a smartphone like this. Okay, something like this, you will have a smartphone. My bad. Let's erase this little bit here. Okay, and let's draw a circle to show a button, for example. Okay, and then maybe something like this. Like a t-shirt, isn't it? I wanted to, can I undo this? Yeah, let's try again. Something like this. And then straight, and then up. Okay, so let's start labeling the parts. We have the touch screen, for example, over here. This is the touch screen. Let's say touch screen. So over here, we would have the microphone. Somewhere over here, we would have the microphone. Okay. Somewhere over here, we would have the speaker. Okay. Okay, so the speaker is going to be output, microphone is going to be input, touchscreen is both input and output. Okay, depends on how you're using it. If you're using it to view, it's an output device. If you're using it in order to give instructions to your device, select something on the screen, then it becomes an input device. Okay, right. If you want, maybe you can even draw a wired headset and then label the headset, or you can simply stick to without the headset and then label the parts. Okay, right. Then moving on to the C question, it says Judy sets file permissions on her online documents. Which one of these is a benefit of doing this? So when we say file permissions, basically what she is doing is for her files, he is assigning what each user can do to the file. So she can say, for example, certain users can only view the file. Certain users can view and modify it. Okay, they can view and also make changes to it. Then certain users will be denied access to the file. Okay, so what is the benefit of doing this? You can simply say it secures her data. Okay, by doing this, she's simply securing her data because she's controlling who can view it, who can make changes to it, and who are denied having access to her files. Okay, right. Next, we have something called describe how a CAPTCHA test reduces the function of malware. So I hope you all know what a CAPTCHA test is. It has a long, it stands for something completely automated pilot or something to tell humans and computers apart, that's what it stands for. So basically, it's a test that you sometimes get while you're browsing the internet, while you're using the internet. Sometimes these tests pop up. Okay, so these are tests. Like for example, they'll tell you to click the images that have a tree in it, or for example, they ask you to type some text which is in a curvy way. Okay, so these are tests that are placed in order to prevent automated software from running, to prevent malware from running. Okay, because these are tests that can only be solved or done by a human being. Only a human being will be able to identify those pictures. Only a human being will be able to understand the text that is being shown. Is it clear? So you can go on to say, you can say a capture test present, you can say capture tests are only solvable by a human being, okay, and not by an automated software. So when we say automated software, if it is a software that has been programmed to cause harm, okay, we consider it as a malware. Okay, so automated software is basically a program that it is basically something that has been programmed. Okay, so anything that has been programmed to carry out harm will be considered as a malware. Okay, so over here we can say capture tests are only solvable by a human being and not by an automated software. So this method would prevent malwares from running. Okay. Explain one positive impact of cloud-based, explain one positive impact of cloud-based services on learning. So when we talk about cloud-based services, we are talking about services that run on the internet. Okay, so in this case, we're talking about learning services, educational services that run on the internet. So they're asking you one positive impact of it. So there are many you can think of. One is you can talk about the fact that students, okay, are not required to physically travel to any location. Instead, they can attend these classes. Instead, they can make use of this education wherever they are. Okay, so shall we put this down? You can say cloud-based learning services. Learning allows students to access their education from wherever they are located and will not be required to travel to a physical location. Okay, so this is just one. Next, you can talk about the cost. Okay, cloud-based services are generally much cheaper than going to a institute or going to a university and attending a course. Okay, you can say the running costs are cheaper, the cost for the university is also cheaper, or the cost for the organization is also cheaper. Next, you can talk about the fact that collaborative working is possible. Okay, students can work together on a particular task, okay, when it's cloud based. Okay, right. Next, describe how mobile broadband can be used to provide access to cloud based services. So when we talk about mobile broadband, we're talking about internet connectivity that is provided to a smartphone, okay, via an ISP. So when an internet service provider is providing your smartphone with an internet connection through your SIM card, it is known as mobile broadband. So generally in today's world, we refer to as 3G or 4G connection. Okay, so over here they're asking you to describe how mobile broadband can be used. So we can simply say mobile broadband is a wireless connectivity to the internet, okay, provided by an ISP. Is a wireless connectivity to the internet provided by an ISP. Okay, using mobile broadband such as 3G or 4G, users will be able to wirelessly access cloud-based services on their smartphone. Okay, so using mobile broadband such as 3G or 4G. So when we say mobile broadband, we're referring to 3G or 4G. Okay, so using 3G or 4G, they will be able to access cloud-based services on their smartphone. Okay. Right. Moving on to the G question. Question G. Give one reason why Judy should use mobile broadband. So one reason, so in order to access the internet, in order to access cloud-based services, that is one reason. Another reason you can talk about is you can say if Wi-Fi is not available, she can use mobile broadband. Okay. Then you can talk about the fact that it is wireless. So she can use it while she is traveling. Okay. She doesn't have to be in a fixed location. Okay. So I'll just simply say in order to access the internet. Okay. But guys, you can talk about the fact that it is wireless. She can use it while she's going, while she's traveling. Okay. Explain one benefit of using wired connectivity. Okay, so the benefit of using a wired connection, there are many. One is it has no interference. Second is it has a higher bandwidth. Third, its security is better. Okay, next, it's not affected by physical obstacles. There are so many benefits you can talk about, but they have asked you to explain only one. Okay, so I'll talk about the bandwidth. I'll say wired connectivity has a higher bandwidth since wired connections have a higher number of frequencies than wireless connections. Okay, so the main reason wired connectivity has a higher bandwidth is because of the higher number of frequencies. Okay, now there are other reasons as well. They aren't affected by obstacles, they aren't affected by interference. Okay, there are other reasons as well, but the main reason is that wired connectivity or wired connections have a higher number of frequencies than wireless connections. Okay, so they have asked only for one. I have listed one. Okay, like I told you guys, you can talk about physical obstacles. That can be your answer. You can say, for example, wired connectivity is hardly affected by physical obstacles such as furniture, walls, glass, things like that. Okay. Or you can say wired connectivity is not affected severely by electromagnetic interference of signals from other devices. Okay. That can be another answer of yours, but just keep it only to one benefit. Okay. So with that, we have come to the end of the second question as well. Okay, in the next video, we move on to the third question. Okay, so I hope it's going well. If you do have any questions and difficulties, do check the description of the video, and I'll see you all in the next video.